Now, dear friends, scholarly questions come to evasive people. People who want to evade, escape the real personal question. Always find some scapegoat or alibi or something to say by which they think they're smart enough to escape. But let me tell you, escaping from yourself is not an easy project. You may escape from a lot of things in this world, but escaping from the stark, evil nature of our hearts can only come through repentance at the cross. Otherwise, you have to live with some kind of corpse inside of you. I don't relish that kind of life, let me tell you, my dear friends, because I did live like that. Now, here is one of these clever scribes, scholars, and his question was, which is the first commandment of all? Well, at least he did not say there are no commandments. I want to be free from every commandment. Well, you know what disaster and chaos there will be on our roads if we had no red lights at all. Sometimes red lights are so blurred, at least from a distance, that one cannot even adjust his speed. Is that a red light in ahead or a green light? When these red and green get garbled in anybody's life, then there is sure disaster ahead. Red is red. You don't want it to be any other. So, folks, God has placed His red lights. What are the commandments? And Jesus said, Mark 12:29. The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. To many of you this might seem just normal. But it is amazing how you have a locality or a region, and there a particular God is worshipped. I passed through a town which is named after a monkey god. And the Chinese calendar, I don't know whether this is, isn't this the year of the monkey? Well, I don't want anybody to monkey with my affairs anyway. Folks, but then when you have the year of the frog and the year of the rat, well, you don't know where you're going to, you see. And there are certain temples which are dedicated to rats. I suppose rats are kept happy there. Well, I never realized that religion was meant to make rats happy. Folks, this is the kind of absurdity we see around us. So, people do not even know that our God is a loving God. You see, you take love out of this world, what happens to this world? You know, it's said back before Christianity, there was extensive cannibalism. Just imagine people eating one another. But that's it. And that's history. But the Lord your God is one great loving Father. You know, I don't know what it is and how people must suffer. I asked an organist in a church, in a big church, where is your father? I have never seen him, he said. Where is he? He lives in some city not far from here. I asked a young man in Indiana, I would love to write to your dad. This fellow was very insecure. Can you give me his address, please? He said, I'm afraid I don't know his address. He's somewhere in California. So, there are people in this world who have never seen their natural fathers. And what a gap that must leave in their hearts. You know, the memory of a godly father, a praying father, such as I had, I can never lose that beautiful memory of Dad and his authority in prayer. You know, no duplicity, nothing like that. You know, on one occasion, my father went over to one of the shops from which he used to buy his clothing, and there was the tailor who did all the making of clothes in that shop. And he said, why, I see that you're idle. What's wrong? Sir, I have no work to do. My father said, yes, I'll give you work to do. And he went into the shop, bought a bale of cotton, shirting, which would perhaps give him about a dozen shirts, and said, come, make shirts for me. On one occasion, he found my grandfather rather sad. And he said to his father-in-law, what is the problem? And he said, here is a poor caretaker who is thrown out of his job. He is a caretaker of a garden, of an orchard, and he has no job.